Hello, friends. We start with an orc who had hidden inside a shed, on top of which was a Ukrainian combat cat who was thrown into the air with the arrival of the mosquito that neutralized the invader. But like a good cat, he managed to land on his feet and escape the danger zone. I wonder if he'll lose one of his 9 lives on this adventure. On the southern front, a Mi-1024 P-Hind helicopter from the 18th Army Aviation Brigade with a striking camouflage pattern, I must say. It carries out an attack run using American Hydra 70 rockets fired from M-261 rocket pods. The 18th Independent Army Aviation Brigade operates in peacetime from the Poltava Air Base with 3 squadrons that have a mixed fleet of Soviet-era helicopters, including Mi-2 Oplita light transports Mi-8 and Mi-17 HIP multi-role transports, as well as Hind attack helicopters. This is interesting, as the campaign to block the roads on the southern front has become so intense, and Ivan has started placing dummy figures that simulate Russian soldiers as decoys. Some of the Hornet-type drones patrolling the roads end up destroying these worthless targets. However, the drone operators realized they weren't Russians because even the dummies are smarter than the average assault orc. In any case, the harvest of invaders in this campaign continues to be plentiful, although now the defenders have to go after smaller targets, since trucks are starting to become scarce in this area.
Más pequeñas, dado que los camiones están comenzando a escasear en este sector.
Tensions are rising in the Baltic Sea, where 2 French Dassault Rafale fighter jets, operating under NATO's Baltic Air Policing mission, took off on June 2, 2026, from an air base in Lithuania to intercept and visually identify a formation of 6 Russian military aircraft that were operating without flight plans, radio contact, or transponder in the Baltic area of responsibility. The intercepted formation was composed of an advanced Sukhoi Su-35 air superiority fighter, which is Mordor's most advanced non-stealth fighter, a supersonic bomber, Sukhoi Su-34, an attack aircraft, Sukhoi Su-24, heavy military transport IL-6 Ilyushin, IL-76, a medium transport aircraft, Antonov An-12, and a reconnaissance and surveillance platform, Antonov An-30. In any case, the Rafales were not alone, as Swedish Gripen fighters also arrived to provide additional support during the interception. This incursion by Ivan was part of a particularly intense week for the French detachment, which had to send its Rafales 11 times to intercept Russian aircraft operating without standard identification protocols, a situation that was described by the spokesperson of the French armed forces as a number of provocations higher than usual. The scale of the Russian deployment, which included air superiority escorts, attack assets, heavy transport, and platforms dedicated to intelligence gathering, suggests a deliberate effort by Russia to simultaneously test NATO's response times, procedures, and interoperability. According to reports from the French pilots, the Su-34 was carrying sieging signals intelligence equipment, making it clear that it was a reconnaissance flight. We're back to the Sea of Azov, as the mosquitoes successfully attacked the Russian cargo ship Leonid Pestrikov in the port of Berdyansk. A video released by the 422nd Unmanned Systems Regiment of the Luftwaffe shows a direct hit on the ship. The operation, coordinated by the 17th Army Corps, included an initial attack by medium mosquitoes that softened the defenses and caused minor damage. This was followed by a wave of Sosulia medium-range attack mosquitoes, which carry a powerful 50-kilogram, high-explosive-shaped charge warhead, causing significant structural damage to the ship, especially in the engine room. The ship suffered severe damage and was immobilized at the dock, preventing the horde from continuing to use it as a logistical asset. According to Ukrainian reports, the attack also affected nearby port infrastructure, including cranes, further disrupting the flow of Russian cargo in the region. At this rate, soon not even Ivan's rowboats will be safe in the Sea of Azov. The 414th Magyar Birds Brigade did a mathematical exercise of their work to celebrate reaching an important milestone. Let's remember that the unit was created on June 11, 2025, starting a fierce campaign of destruction and construction against both the invaders and their equipment, to the point that now, after only 12 months of work, they have managed to depotenize no less than 100,000 invaders, of whom 53,432 have been permanently neutralized, and another 46,568 have been wounded. If we consider that Red Square in Moscow can fit a group of 3,390 orcs, and each of them carries a backpack, with a neutralized colleague, it would take 15 red squares to hold a parade with all the invaders to whom the brigade has given the personalized attention they deserve. It also represents a convoy of 1,000 refrigerated train cars, each with 100 silent passengers, with one-way tickets back to Mordor. We're talking about a macabre 24-kilometer-long train convoy full of Mordorites who signed the contract. These figures are not estimates, as their data is based solely on verified losses recorded in real time through the Brigade's online system, which aggregates data from multiple units with video evidence from each mission. The statistics from the unmanned systems forces indicate more than 350,000 unique verified enemy targets hit or destroyed, and 1.65 million combat missions with an average of 5,000 sorties per day. 248 air defense systems, 817 tanks, 1,379 armored vehicles, 4,890 artillery pieces, and thousands of logistics trucks neutralized, all confirmed. Let's consider that these 100,000 casualties represent almost 3 times the elite forces that Mordor deployed in its failed operation against Kiev in February 2022. Back then, the Russian invasion force amounted to about 180,000 troops. Today, it exceeds 700,000, and still, they haven't managed to capture the Donbass after 4 years of war. And as for the birds, these worms will pay an even higher price for every meter they manage to advance. Speaking of statistics, the General Staff of Ukraine's defense confirmed that their forces managed to neutralize more than 31,500 invaders during May. Although that's less than the 35,000 in March and April, it's still better than the average 28,000 in January and February, which were winter months, when it's a bit harder to have enough drones in the air due to the weather conditions. With improved conditions, the swarms are now paralyzing the logistics chain on the southern front and in the Donbass. Each successful attack is carefully documented and georeferenced, so its validity is unquestionable. Even so, there is still work to be done to reach the goal of 50,000 casualties per month set by Minister Fedorov, but the work to reach that objective continues enthusiastically. Meanwhile, on the front lines, the delivery of supplies and ammunition to the defenders remains in the reliable hands of Ukraine's robotic forces. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.